guys? It's us here at Mario Kart MADMAN, and we're here today with the MADMAN podcast. I'm here with CMoney, Doodle, and CMoney and Doodle.
Yes, we are here. CMoney and Doodle.
We're ready. Let's go, MADMAN.
All right. So, first off, The Witcher is getting remade in Unreal Engine 5 Glory.
So exciting.
Oh boy. It's gonna be
so
great.
exciting.
Yes.
I feel like the excitement is not understood by you, Doodle.
That's what I was about to say. I've seen you play The Witcher, but I think it was the second?
The third one.
The third one?
Yeah.
The game is stunning. And you've always said how this game has always been ahead of its time and how it ages well. But we're going back to like the first one.
Yeah. So the second one is stunning. But even when you see it now, it has lost some of the luster because there's just techniques that didn't exist back then. So they made the best of what was available at the time.
When was the first one released that they're like remaking?
Oh, man.
Oh, shoot.
That's a good question.
It was definitely a while ago.
It was a long time ago. It was before. It had to be 20 years.
That's a long time.
Maybe 20 years.
It came out in North America, October 30th, 2007.
I lied.
20 years ago.
I lied. So
that's still a long
15
time.
years.
It's a long time. But
it was a real different game, though. Like part one is very different.
Like over the head, like it's
like maybe we'll have you try it out on maybe Doodle's Never Have I Ever.
I'm down. When is this game releasing? Like the
they're just announcing
just
it.
like there are early stages.
This is when they did that. When we talked about it last time, they did that big announcement.
The
five different games or whatever. They talked about working with another developer to make a game. Well, this is that game. So this is them going back to the drawing board and remaking Witcher 1. See, this is the best thing about remakes. When you when you take Resident Evil 2, right? The remake.
Yeah.
It was such an amazing remake. And the reason being is because not only was it stunning, okay, but they fundamentally changed the game because the game used to be the fixed cameras, right? So Resident Evil 2 back in the day, it was fixed cameras, so you would walk into a room and you'll see your face, or it'll be different angles. So they shifted everything to today's standard, which they put that camera right behind them. And now you're experiencing the game like you never experienced before.
100% accurate.
It's funny that you went right to Resident Evil because that's exactly what came to mind, that they're remaking all these Resident Evil games. And I was like, okay, so they're going to do essentially the same thing.
Yeah, so that's really cool, the idea.
To bring back these games that they didn't have the power to make as beautiful as they could have been.
Yeah, Capcom has remade the first 4 games. The first one back in the GameCube era, Resident Evil 2 back like in 2019, Resident Evil 3 in 2020, and Resident Evil 4 coming up.
But you're right. Resident Evil 1 was remade in the GameCube era. I don't understand why they didn't remake that game, because that's not a real remake. That was a graphical update because it was still the same isometric cameras.
Yeah,
like it was the fixed cameras.
Like, I don't know. Like they did a lot. Like if you look at compare this to that, like
graphics wise, yes.
Yeah, I mean it's like night and day. That was polygons on a PlayStation, but now it looks comparable to like a 360 game.
So they did an enhancement.
Yeah, they enhanced it. So they took the same game and just, right click, delete the character model and put a new character model. You know what I'm saying?
They also redid the voice work because of how bad it was back then.
But the point is that Resident Evil 1 should be remade with today's standards.
That would be fire.
Like, why not? Like, you did Resident Evil 2. Why are you acting like Resident Evil 1 fits in line? You know what I'm saying? It should not be in line.
I remember.
It should be made to today's standards, over the shoulder camera. Let's see Resident Evil 1 like we never experienced it before.
That would be fire.
That would be so good.
And remember, Resident Evil 2 was by the book. The story was identical. Part 3, they thought they'd be funny and try to change things, and Chris is not even in it. It's this other guy, Carlos, that's in it.
Yeah. But I mean, which I appreciate too, because they made some changes and some choices that'll, again, kind of make it something new to people again. But that being said, you're going back to The Witcher.
Mhm.
The biggest thing for me is that they're going to read back the original, not as the team who made the original. They're the team who gave us a genre-defining game in The Witcher 3. They made open world games what it should be as far as story, side quests that felt like stories. Like they felt like if you can. I played when I was playing Witcher 3. I did missions like story side quests that I didn't even realize were side quests. Like they go on for so long and they end in a dramatic and satisfying way.
You didn't even realize that you didn't have to do them.
Yeah, they were just optional.
Wait, the game's not over? I have to go over there?
But they always mean something. Like they did so big of a world and they filled it with actual things. Like they do everything that Ubisoft wishes they could do. Right? But they do it really well. And then on top of that, they made Cyberpunk, which was phenomenal, 10 out of 10 game from day one. I don't care what anybody says. The fact that it didn't work well on the lesser consoles, that is what it is. But on PC, which that game was released, was a 10 out of 10. Story, amazing. Graphics, amazing, dude. Oh, you put ray tracing on a strong PC? Yeah. Oh my God, was it stunning. I loved that game with all my heart.
I think a lot of controversy came from the fact that they blatantly lied. They said, we're not showing any footage, but it looks great. Then they got it, and it's like, oh, whoopsie, that's what happened.
Well, I mean, again, I can appreciate that. That doesn't change the game, right? I don't care what the company did. What I'm saying is my experience playing that game was amazing. So they are a whole different breed of developers now. Like in my book, they're essentially like at the level of like a Rockstar games, like Grand Theft Auto, Red Dead level.
Bully, yeah.
They do that with storytelling. Okay. I love their ability to tell these stories. And the way they got Keanu Reeves to be in Cyberpunk as a awesome character, like it worked so well.
Now, I don't know about, actually, how do you feel about that? I heard some people say he was very two-dimensional or wasn't as great, but what did you think of Keanu Reeves as it?
But Doodle, what do you think of Keanu Reeves?
I thought he was perfect.
Yes.
I thought he was perfect.
That's 100% it.
For the world, the cyberpunk world too, you couldn't have found a better actor to play that role. He played like a rocker with the long hair. It was freaking awesome. It was watching John Wick in a freaking video game. Just Keanu Reeves, such a big name, and then I mostly saw John Wick in the
It was awesome. He did a great job. I don't know what you want from Keanu Reeves. You know exactly what you're gonna get.
Yes, because he is, like I had said before, that he's very like a cold actor, very robotic, and that's why he was so good in The Matrix, right?
Yep.
So that's what made him so great for Cyberpunk. I do think that they put together a freaking phenomenal game. They are known to make amazing games, obviously, The Witcher and also Cyberpunk. I don't think that we can knock down a game for having too much power and trying to play it on a system that can't hold that power, right?
Yep.
So you have to appreciate it for what it is and what they did. I also think it was a freaking blessing because they are amazing. And going through that and having to take back the game and having to fix it and adjust it and work on that made them that much better.
Absolutely.
You know?
Agreed.
And with DLC, they're dropping those consoles entirely. So Series X, PS5, PC, no Xbox One, and PS4.
Well, the reality is that we want these developers to make games that can't run on these older generations. Like, that's what we want. We want them to push hardware forward, to push things and take things to the next level. And if it can still run on an Xbox One and a PlayStation 4, then they're not doing that. That's just the reality of what it is.
It ran, but it was like playing a Roblox game.
Yeah, it ran like shit. Exactly. So that being said, even that was good learnings for them going into this. Now, obviously, look, they're not physically making this game, right?
Mhm.
They have Fools, I think it's Fool's Theory or Fool's something. It's a company I never heard of, but I think the big thing is that a lot of the people who work there, I don't know if it was, founded by, but there was a lot of people from CD Projekt Red. So they left them and they went to this other company, or they made this company. So it's in the hands of people who have made The Witcher before. So it's not like some random people. That's why you hear like Fool's Theory. Who are these people? It's because they know them, right? It's the same breed.
I don't think that they will take. I don't think that they will take a chance on like such a big game and the standards that they have on a company that couldn't handle it. Also, after what happened with Cyberpunk and the whole controversy, I think they're going to be cautious enough to make sure that they don't have any problems with the remake of The Witcher, because that would be something else, right?
Yeah, for sure. They're not going to let that get ruined. And they're doing complete oversight, right? Like, they're going to be watching the entire thing. They're going to be, making sure that it's up to the quality levels that they expect. So it's not entirely, free will for Fool's Theory or whatever they are, just to do it.
It's basically it's like when they say, okay, you can do this today. And then they're like, okay, but we'll watch you the whole time.
Well, no, they're not going to sit there and watch them, but they'll have milestones, right? So they'll say, okay, you have 3 months to get this system in order. And then in 3 months, we want to see what that looks like.
Happened. The thing is that obviously they're not going to go with people they don't trust or they don't think that can do it. But at the same time, obviously being their game, they're going to be cautious with it and double check everything.
Yeah, they can't micromanage them, because then the people are just going to be annoyed,
exactly.
Right? It's like, why you hire me if you don't think I could do the job, right? So, and plus they're busy with their own shit, right? They're making 4 other games, right?
Oh, CD Projekt Red? Yeah, it must be fun being CD Projekt Red right now.
Yeah, so I mean, they have a lot going on. They're making their own original IP. Like, they have a lot going on. So they're not going to sit there and babysit, but they're gonna want, weekly reports or monthly reports or whatever it is, and they're going to keep a level of quality that they want. Now, this is going to be Unreal Engine 5. Man, honestly, I can't like you look at the screen, right? That's stunning.
It is.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is beautiful, right? Forza Horizon looks stunning. This is a cross-gen game. Now,
Motorsport,
this is cross-gen, right? Yeah, Motorsport's gonna be great, but this is cross-gen, meaning you can still play this on
the
Xbox One or PlayStation 4. Oh, I mean, actually,
whoa,
obviously
whoa,
not
whoa.
PlayStation 4, but meaning that quality level of console. The point is that this looks stunning, but what is it gonna look like when they make a game that cannot run on the Xbox One? Like, what level of quality is that gonna be? Because I gotta tell you, I saw Forza Motorsport. Obviously, we have the trailer that came out. It was all in-game footage, right? But honestly, I mean, I have to see, but it's going to be visually less impressive. I think. I don't think it's going to look as good as Horizon, and not because of the car models. I'm talking about, you're not going to have the benefit of the worlds that you're driving through this open world and going anywhere. Like, it's going to be a track, right? It's a track racer. So we're going to see the same tracks that we've seen in every racing game in existence, because they use a lot of real world tracks. that'll just have better background, right? It's going to look nicer, but it's still going to look like a track racer. That car looks super realistic.
It does.
Right?
Yeah.
So I don't know how much more what's going to be more realistic.
Look at the reflection. You just saw that, right? The reflection on the car picking everything up from the background, right? That's
stunning. Beautiful. So that's the difference with this game, because when you're playing the game, that wouldn't happen because it doesn't have ray tracing during gameplay. Right now, it has ray tracing. Right there, that's what you're seeing. That's ray tracing. That's why the reflections are so perfect. Forza Motorsport, the new one, that is going to have ray tracing during gameplay.
Oh, throughout.
So the car is going to be stunning. But they did a lot of tricks to make it feel like that when you're playing the game. So when you're driving, like the back of the cars has some type of system that they made that makes it look like it has ray tracing because it's reflecting things that it typically wouldn't reflect.
Yes. Okay.
But Motorsport is going to have ray tracing throughout. So there's going to be a level of quality that hasn't been seen before. But I just feel like overall, the feeling of the game is not going to be as impressive because it's not a big open world, right?
Okay.
So
what they're doing is like they're swapping it, right? So we're not going to give you an open world because we have to manage the ray tracing that we're going to do throughout the game.
Exactly. But
they're not there yet.
But Horizon, though, the next Horizon that they're inevitably going to put out within the next 3 years, I would say, that is going to be the real defining game because that's going to be a game that they only make. If they can do this with a game that's on Xbox One, because you could put on Xbox One, it doesn't look that different. Just resolution is lower, things like that. But if they can do this with cross-gen, I can only freaking imagine what they'll do when they're next-gen only.
Okay. Well, what I would say is that it's really good that they're remaking The Witcher.
I agree.
Okay?
Oh, yeah.
But you know what's not good?
What's not good?
What?
Enlighten me.
Does it have to do with
I have trouble.
Hemsworth?
Yes, I have trouble even saying it. I don't want to believe it's real. I don't want to believe it's real. So I'm going about my day.
Mm-hmm.
I open up my Twitter.
Living your jolly life.
Yes. Happy as can be. Christmas is coming. Why wouldn't I be?
That's right.
Right?
Uh-huh.
And then the first thing I see, I can't even say it. Go ahead, CMoney. Go ahead, Madman. Go ahead.
Liam Hemsworth is officially replacing Henry Cavill's Geralt in The Witcher for season 4. Oh God, I felt like I was gonna vomit for a second.
That's
why? Why Netflix? How can you do this to us?
Well, they didn't do it. Henry Cavill didn't want to. He was doing DC
but
again.
Figure it out, Netflix.
So
figure it out.
It's not that easy. Scheduling conflict.
This is the thing.
It's scheduling conflict because he's gonna go and do Superman. Find a way to make him not want to go do Superman and stay with you. Like this is it. This is it. It's over. What are you guys going to do? Unless you're going to restart the game and, restart the actual show and make us somehow fall in love with the new characters. Like, don't think that you're going to swap out The Witcher and that's just it, right? Because they filmed season 3, so that will be released. Find a way to close that chapter then and then restart. But they're going into season 4 with a new Witcher. What the hell are you doing to us?
They're gonna Aunt Viv the situation.
They're gonna
what's the
gaslight you. That's when you think that person has always been there. Like, oh, he's always been Liam Hemsworth. No, he hasn't.
It's just going to be weird because all the other characters are still going to be the same.
Well, that's my problem. Like, close that chapter. Like, let me at least feel like you finish my show, not that you're going in a different direction and just swapping out the actor. Like, what are you doing? No, I'm so annoyed because I love this show. I wasn't even going to try it. Remember?
Yep. Oh, I remember.
And then CMoney really wanted to see it. Thank you very much. Okay. And then I watched the freaking first episode. I'm like, all right, we'll put on the next one.
Well, I think Netflix, I mean, they're not going to F this up somehow. I'm sure you might not even notice because it's mostly makeup and hair, and they'll probably make him look a lot like it. You'll probably, maybe his voice is a tiny bit different, but it won't be drastic. Netflix knows what they're doing. You know, when it comes to Netflix plus games, you get magic. What, like The Witcher, bombastic. The Cuphead show, Cyberpunk Edge Runners, and even this like Sonic series that's coming out is looking pretty good. Netflix knows how to do. Oh, and Arcane. How can we forget Arcane? So Netflix can do a lot of crazy stuff, and I think that they're gonna blow us all away with The Witcher.
You know what Netflix
Hamilton?
can't do?
What?
Okay. They don't have that magic Men in Black pen that makes you delete
Yes.
what you've already seen, right? So you
Yes.
can't take our actor away that we
So
felt sympathy for, compelled for, we felt connected to.
See,
I don't know.
I feel
don't.
bad for you, okay? Because
Thank you very
you're,
much.
you're new to this pain.
Mm,
What you don't realize is
Yeah.
that
yeah.
the people who played The Witcher, who love The Witcher,
Yeah.
we already had to go through this shit, okay? Because
Cavill wasn't the
nobody-
video game.
Cavill doesn't have the voice of Geralt in the game. He's just a copy of it. He doesn't look like Geralt in the game. He's just a kind of version of it. Not that he didn't do great. I really liked him as Geralt. But what I'm saying is that we already had to go through that shock of like,
This ain't The Witcher.
that shit don't sound like him. That don't really look like him. Where's his gruff?
His
Where's the
peach
gruff?
fuzz.
He's not clean shaven. He has gruff. Witcher's out there in the woods. He's not stopping to get a shape up. he wants to.
That was awesome.
He
All
needs.
right.
He needs to look right. So yes. Okay. Am I disappointed? Yes. I feel like they nailed it with him.
They did.
So-
And I don't even, I have never played the games, right? But this is the thing. I understand that this is known pain to you, but this is no pain to me.
It is.
And to a lot of people who may have not played the game and watched the show and fell in love with it because it's freaking epic and amazing. And I just don't know how they're going to fill that transition because for me, as you stated, he's the Witcher, right?
Yes.
So how can you do this to us? You went ahead, they made figurines, they made freaking statues, and they do look very different from the video game Geralt. I must say that.
Yeah.
But Geralt, come on. No.
I
Why?
know.
It's all right. You know
sad day.
what? Liam is gonna come on, okay, and he's gonna do the lines the right way. He's gonna change his voice. He's gonna man up, okay. He's gonna grow. He's gonna become a strong.
He better start drinking some protein, make
he has to
something
drink some
happen.
whiskey.
You need
Burn the
the
esophagus.
sound of the
You know what I'm saying?
voice.
We need some
that raspy, some
Yeah.
some texture to that voice.
Yeah.
He's
We
gonna be
need,
like-
we need some pain.
He's gonna come in. He's gonna be like, "Hello, I'm the Witcher. May I slay this demon?"
Don't come out here talking like Mickey Mouse
He
or
needs to
something
get
like
jacked
that.
up.
We're
You know
gonna
what I'm
need,
saying?
yes.
Do some workouts this
For
year.
sure.
Getting prepping.
You said he was in Hunger Games. I don't remember him from Hunger Games. I've known him from being married to Miley Cyrus. So maybe that's a good thing.
His
to
brother
not-
is Thor. So if you know him from
Literally.
something, you could at least say
Well,
with dignity.
He's Chris Hemsworth's little
he's
bro.
Chris Hemsworth's little
Okay,
brother.
all
Instead of
right.
saying, I only know him as
only know
Miley
this.
Cyrus's side piece.
All right. Well, that's how I yeah. Mhm.
I know this has been a sad day for all of us, but you know who this wasn't a sad day for? Phil Spencer. Dollar signs in his eyes because he sees the success of Game Pass growing.
Well, I think that's the opposite of the story. The Game Pass has slowed its growing, but it is profitable, right? That's the big thing that all the fanboys cry about. They sit there and they want to talk about how the Game Pass is broke. They don't make any money. How does it work? They're poor. It's like
The poor. It's
They're-
Microsoft, boy.
yeah, I mean they listen. It's profitable. We knew it was profitable because they already said it was profitable, but they didn't want to listen.
I think Phil Spencer is being modest. If he's coming out saying that is a bit profitable,
Yeah.
they're making a lot of fucking money.
Well, they're definitely making
Let's
money.
not be ridiculous. How can you guys not understand how this is making money? We're talking about a membership. You're paying monthly. Even if it's not as much, you're still paying for it. These games, once they're being streamed, they're being streamed. They're not giving you a case for the games. They're not giving you a disc. You are streaming the freaking games. And anybody that can't understand that, I don't understand it.
Well, you're not streaming all. You download the games.
Yeah,
too.
you're downloading the game, but meaning that game is already in the cloud, right?
Yep.
So it's not like they're giving you
Yeah, and you don't
extra
keep
stuff.
it. You're renting
Exactly.
it, right? But the big thing I think right now is that we're still going through this Activision acquisition, and the CMA is being little bitches with this and just making it unnecessarily difficult for shit that we know is going to go through. It's going to go through because there's no reason why it shouldn't go through.
They are being little bitch ass hoes.
For sure.
And I think Phil Spencer is coming out because their PlayStation is playing it like the Xbox is making this huge monster with
that can't be overtaken.
Yes, with Game Pass, and now buying these companies to make games to make it for Game Pass, so everybody's gonna go ahead and join. So that's why I think they're being very modest and speaking on how they're trying to build it, and but the reality of it is that like it's kind of like a patch damage control. Yes, look, this is what is happening. We're just making a bit of money. We're just this and that. But come on.
Well, I think what they're ultimately trying to do with the CMA there, like watching this, right, is they're trying to say, like, all right, we don't need Activision to make money on Game Pass. We're already making money.
But I think we all know that.
Yeah,
and
but the
they should know
CMA is
that too.
acting like this is the only way Game Pass is going to survive. So that's why we don't want you to have it.
The
So
CMA is acting this way because that's the way PlayStation is phrasing it.
they just took it there. They just took what Sony said and ran with it. So they're addressing that, right? They're letting them know, hey, listen, we're already making money. They're also putting out there that it accounts for about 15% of Xbox's total business. Okay. So you got 15% of the business coming from Game Pass. They don't think that it's ever going to be any higher than that. They feel like that's pretty much where it's going to stay. Yes, the numbers will grow. So you're going to get 15% of a higher number. But ultimately, when you look at the grand scope of what they bring in as Xbox, it's going to be about 15% from Game Pass, and that's pretty much it.
Well, that's because obviously of a much bigger number.
Yeah,
Because they are growing and they're going to continue to grow.
Yep,
So-
they actually grew a lot in PC
PC
Game Pass.
Game Pass.
Yeah, that's where they're seeing the real growth. It went up like 159%.
Dang. I mean, what did they put in there?
Well, it's just as they keep putting more in, people are drawn to it. You know, I mean, the deal's a phenomenal deal. Like, even if you don't like Xbox, you're a PC head, and you're like, you know what? Screw Xbox. These games are not Xbox. They're games.
It's called PC Game Pass.
It's called PC Game Pass. Yeah, but on PC Game Pass, like Forza Horizon is on PC Game Pass, right?
Of course.
It's when, as a PC person, they don't want to buy an Xbox. They don't want to buy a PlayStation. They're PC master race, right? Right? They want the best of the best, right? And even though I love Xbox, I mean, I have a 4090.
You get
Right?
it. Yeah.
Like, I want my games to look the best. I know that I rather play my game on PC than on Xbox because it's going to look better.
Yeah.
So-
if there's an option,
Yeah.
then you rather
Why not do it,
play the
right?
better option.
Absolutely. But that being said, as a PC person who only has a PC, they don't have Xbox, they don't have PlayStation, these games are not, oh my God, this is an Xbox game. They don't give a shit. Forza's dope. Cuphead is dope at the time when it was coming out, right? All these games that are coming out, they're dope. The games that are gonna come out, Starfield, all this stuff, like, they know what's coming. So people are getting ready. They're enjoying the fact that they get games in here that they would have bought. You know what I'm saying? Like they would have paid
The
for
amount
this.
of money, this is the problem. You can't be mad at Game Pass. You can't be mad at Xbox. You can't be mad at people that are subscribing to this. You can only be mad at the fact that you don't have an Xbox and you're not getting Game Pass.
Or a PC.
Yes, or PC.
So basically, you're only on a PlayStation.
Yeah.
I know.
Or a Switch, but
but like we've said, Nintendo has their own fan base and their
yeah,
own.
but you know what? They don't. I don't believe that. They want the other things. They just want it in a way that doesn't compromise them being Nintendo.
Being Nintendo. Yes,
That's why they're releasing these cloud versions of games.
That's really freaking cool. They know what they want. They know their lane. They know what they're making, and they're not willing to come and change that to jump into this game of trying to beat each other for the same games,
Nintendo
right?
is a beast of their own. They're the company that sells a $70 cardboard. You don't know what they're going to do next.
Yeah. But that's the thing. So, but even like, so another thing that they were talking about, just to kind of put it to rest, is that they, Phil Spencer, went ahead and confirmed for like as clear as you can freaking say it, Call of Duty will be on PlayStation. They're not going to take it off. They don't want to take it off. They don't want a chance of another shooter to come up on the PlayStation side to be better, to take away from the mind space of Call of Duty, right? Because think about this. If they take Call of Duty away from PlayStation, right? And Naughty Dog says, you know what? Let's make a military shooter.
Oh!
They'll make some amazing shit. And because there's no Call of Duty on PlayStation, people are going to be like, that's our Call of Duty.
Yeah, like
It's probably going to be critically acclaimed.
Yeah. And then that's going to change the scape.
Yeah.
This is
Why
change
will
the
you
landscape.
Take away?
What
he did say he was going to try to treat it. They were going to treat it like Minecraft
Yes.
and have it available for everyone. They just want it biased, so it's their game.
It's the size of the beast, right? Minecraft, when they bought that thing, it was humongous. It was everywhere.
Yes.
They did not want to buy it to take away. They wanted to be the ones making that money.
The most profit from it.
The most profit, and they can shepherd it, right? Like they can protect it. With that money, Minecraft can do whatever they want.
Exactly. They
there's
can make
nothing
it
held
bigger.
back.
They can make it more. They
make
expand
spin-offs.
it however they want. Yes.
Right? Remember they made
Dungeons.
Telltale Games made story mode, right?
That's really
1 and
good.
2. So they did that. They did Dungeons. They got Legends coming out. That's going to be dope. Coming out this upcoming year.
We're still waiting on ray tracing for normal Minecraft. So
Well, I think that got paused and put on hold because they can't put it everywhere. So I feel like they were going to do it, and then they thought, well, we don't want to make people who can't use it to feel like shit that they don't have it. I think that's what happened. That's the only reason. Or another thing that some people were saying, because we just found out, or definitively, that PlayStation literally puts in their contracts that you can't make the game better on Xbox. So even though Xbox is more powerful, and because that they should 100% be able to make things look better and run
That's
better.
some bitch ass shit. It's like saying, hey, PC has to play at Xbox or PlayStation level.
Yep.
That's not okay.
Yeah, it's bullshit. So they are holding people back. So I think Minecraft was going to make that only for the Xbox. And then once, because of the power of the Xbox, they can do it. PlayStation's fucking weaker. That's just what it is. It's a weaker system. It could barely fucking run 4K 60, the games that they release. They're all reconstructed. Not that Xboxes aren't as well, but the point is that it has more power to be able to do this shit more consistently.
I know. Ever since Xbox came in, PlayStation 2, 3, and 5 have been significantly weaker, and Xbox has always been stronger. That's just the facts of life.
Technically, PlayStation 3, I believe, was stronger. It's just that it was more difficult to make games for. So unless you were exclusively making a game for PlayStation where you just deep dive into the cell processor, it was too difficult. So people didn't want to do it because, first of all, Xbox was already out. They had a head start. More people had Xboxes. So why are they going to spend their energy making a PlayStation 3 version better when they go for the lead platform? Just like now, PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 are typically the main game systems that they're making them for. That's why PlayStation can do that shit and say, hey, you're making your game come out PlayStation, no problem. That shit better be the same as it is on Xbox. We're not going to hear about you doing this extra special mode. Meanwhile, these motherfuckers got a controller that has this special haptic feedbacks. They have to make that special. They have VR. People want to make VR games for PlayStation. I don't see Xbox saying, hey, you can't make no fucking VR shit for PlayStation if you're going to ever work for us. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's bullshit.
No.
So
it is. And I mean, obviously, they put a pacifier on Jim Ryan, and we haven't heard much.
We have it.
But,
they
you know,
put a pacifier on it.
Maybe we need to take the pacifier off and see what kind of nonsense comes out his mouth. All right? We miss you, Jim. We miss you.
So basically he said a good amount of things. He, like we said, he talked about Game Pass being 15%, it being profitable already, keeping PlayStation, where it is. I think ultimately, again, this is just all in response to making sure that because the CMA is going to that level 2, right? And the people who were in level 1 are not involved with level 2, right? So level 1 is like the people who don't really know shit, just kind of saying, well, this looks like it'll be a problem.
Like when you call customer service, they hear you out, and then they're like, you know what? Let me put somebody else on the phone.
Exactly.
And then they're like, you know what? I can't handle this shit. Let me put somebody else on the phone for you. And you spend a whole day talking nonsense.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. So this level 2 is brand new people. So Xbox is trying to get ahead of it and put these words out there. Like, listen to what we're saying as well, not just fucking Sony, right? Like, tell me that what we're saying doesn't make sense.
Well, this is what's happening, right? We can tell, obviously, that it makes perfect sense because they've kind of put a stop to the PlayStation side and they're not really saying much. So now there's kind of between Microsoft, Xbox, and the CMA kind of, and they did the damage that they were trying to do, right?
Yeah,
PlayStation,
Sony, yep.
Jim Ryan came out and did all the nonsense. And that's why this is elongating the process and taking so long in the back and forth. Now, Xbox has to do damage control and show all their cards, essentially, because of the tantrum. So they got what they wanted, and now they already know that this is just going to play out as it needs to. And Xbox is just, they're calmly explaining the path, right?
Yeah.
Maybe what they wanted was for Phil Spencer to come out and lose his head the way that Jim Ryan did and create a bigger problem, but that didn't work out. They were very in control the whole time. We can agree on that, right? Phil Spencer came out, he never looked a clown.
Company. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't do that by mistake.
No,
right?
Of course
not. If we think about life as a company, Sony's been around for a really long time.
Yes.
Very long time. But guess what?
What?
They're not a fucking $2 trillion company.
That's
right?
true.
They're not a $1 trillion company.
They're not a $0 trillion company.
They're not even $100 billion, right? So, like, let's give credit where credit's due, right? Microsoft as a company has done what it's needed to do to get to where it's gotten, right? So they know what it takes to get things done. And they're going to get this done. It's going to get done. And then Microsoft can finally unleash and go buy other shit. And
of course, because obviously they're paying attention now to the game world, right? It's a big company. They have a lot going on. They have a lot of things that they do. And let's call it what it is. Xbox was not their priority.
Nope.
Now they're branching out. Now they're paying attention to it. Now it's for whatever reason, whether they find it worth it or now they want to really compete, or maybe just because now they have the time to focus on it, they have laid out a plan and they're actually focusing on it.
Absolutely.
So
I agree. I don't know. This Phil Spencer thing and the whole like Game Pass will just keep growing one way or another, whether it's PC or mobile or however they want to keep pursuing it. And PlayStation will
mobile.
not stop crying.
No.
So yeah, that's true.
when
the
you said
mobile
that,
aspect
yes,
is huge.
You said it'll keep growing. I don't know if I've said this before. It reminds me of Netflix, right?
Yep.
When it was kind of funny that what they were doing. Oh, look at them trying, and then they took out Blockbuster, and then
Yep.
they are freaking Netflix, right?
Yep.
Yeah, they're like it started with I think like the first big hit was Orange is the New Black, and then since then we've got hit series after hit series after hit series, and it's been ridiculous. Like it's
That is correct.
I think that's what the CMA is trying to stop, right? The idea that Xbox can become the Netflix of gaming,
But that's not okay, right?
but it's stupid
not.
because look, even though Netflix was first, they were huge. It seemed like nobody can ever be Netflix. Come on, man. Disney Plus, brand new.
it's already like neck and neck with
It's
them.
already coming up. HBO Max, Paramount Plus. There's mad competitors. There's nothing stopping anybody from creating a streaming service for video games to make it where they can compete.
And that's probably what they saw. Potentially, that's where they got their idea from, right? And Phil Spencer did say, what we're trying to do is grow and challenge ourselves. And like, this is going to challenge others to come and step up, right?
Yep.
That's exactly what happened.
That's competition.
Netflix did this. And then, look, we have freaking Disney and Hulu and Peacock and Paramount Plus and the Apple TV.
Yep.
Like, that all came from Netflix, right? They
Absolutely.
were the first ones. So the point is, they will find a way to make other things come up, right?
Absolutely. So, look, I think that we've gone on about Phil Spencer and the team for a good amount now. But what I would just end it with, Xbox is not gonna fuck around once this shit is over.
Ooh.
Once they have Activision, they can get into mobile. They're gonna make the mobile store that they want to make to to compete with Apple and Google.
I forgot they got Candy Crush now.
They're gonna have Candy Crush. They have Call of Duty Mobile. Listen,
Boy.
I have that LG Cloud that came out, right? Love it. Use it for Game Pass, use it for GeForce Now. But I also downloaded Call of Duty, the mobile version. I forgot how it's so good. Like, it's really good. Like, honestly, I don't know how this is gonna be. You know what? This is what they're gonna do. They're gonna use Activision and Call of Duty, right? The mobile version. They're gonna take that framework, because that's a shooter that you play on the screen. They're going to use that. They're going to take how they did that, put it to a Halo. They're going to make a fucking Halo mobile game to do that.
See,
cool.
This is the thing. It's not, we're looking at Xbox and what they're trying to bring into Xbox, and it's way beyond that, right?
Yeah.
They're building an empire. Xbox is going to be a part of their empire.
Yep.
They're branching out into the video game world, whether it's through phone, PC, Xbox. And this Game Pass is just a way to connect everything.
Dude, listen, the reality is there's only about 200 million consoles that can be sold. Like, there's only about 200 million people that say, I want to put a box under my TV to play video games. There's billions of people who play games on their phones.
On their phone, because you can do it anywhere. You don't have to sit
Anywhere,
down in
anytime.
front of a television to go ahead and play. You have your
That's the
phone on
truth.
you all the time.
Absolutely. If it doesn't require anything extra. And I can tell you right now, if Xbox made every single shooter game that they have, anything that's a shooter, and they just take the Call of Duty touchscreen that they do for mobile, just put it on all those games.
Yes.
You could play anything. at any time, any shooter will work amazingly well because that shit works so butter.
Dude, how
It's
many
crazy.
people don't play Halo that if it was on the phone, will pick it up and give it a try or play it or fall in love with it? Like,
Yep.
that's insane.
Yeah.
You are onto something, and I think that's exactly where they're leading.
That's what they care about. They don't give a shit about the 220 million people anymore. They already got that part.
They found a place where they
Yup.
can expand tremendously.
Yep. Look,
And that's just what they're doing.
Activision's already doing it with Call of Duty. They got fucking Diablo. Diablo's on there. I beat the whole like single player story of it, like the all the way up to the part where you pretty much just have to keep grinding. It was great. It's so good.
Adapting. How many people, right, have to play games on their phone?
Yeah.
It's not about want. It's life is busy, right? And it's the easier way to do it.
And everybody needs a phone. So you even if you don't have a lot of money, you sacrifice and get a phone, right? You need one. And they make them cheap enough that if you can get one, you don't have to get the top tier one. You can get a phone and be able to play games on it. Right? What do most people do? Give their kid a tablet. Here.
Yes, I was just about to say, even for kids, right?
Yep.
It's like the tablets, the phone. Here's the phone. You're at a supermarket, right? You have your kid with you and you're like, all right, they're flipping out. Here, watch this or play this game on the phone.
Absolutely.
All right.
Oh, yeah, that's true. So let's get into something interesting. This October was the debut of a popular and highly anticipated series, Chainsaw Man, which has been a comic that started in 2018 and since 2020 has been in development, and the hype has been real for it. Now, a couple weeks back, it finally launched, and it's amazing.
Did you say it's a comic?
What?
You said it was a comic?
It was a comic. It started as one, and then it became a series.
Oh, so I thought that was an anime.
It is an anime, but it started as a comic or a manga. That's basically a Japanese comic.
Oh, okay. So yeah, it's a manga.
A manga is just a Japanese comic, and yeah, basically it's like fantastic. I saw it mainly because of the hype for it and the fact that it looked really good on top of it. I was like, all right, and yeah, it really caught me off guard. So a little breakdown of what this series is. I took the liberty of making a little description from my recollection so I can explain to you guys what the thing is. So the series takes place in a world where human fears take the form of devils, which are dangerous monsters that pose a threat to our society. The story is told through the young eyes of a man named Denji who works for a Yakuza in order to pay off the massive debt his father left in him in his wake of his self-inflicted death. The guy is barely making a living and only receives comfort from Pochta, a devil in which he managed to become friends with when he was younger. He is a chainsaw devil, essentially a walking chainsaw. Together, he and Denji kill devils, and the work becomes far easier. However, one day, he goes to kill a devil with Pochta for cash, and the devil ends up being ridiculously powerful, brutally murdering Denji in the process. Pochta, seeing that he was dead, decides to merge his soul with Denji's in order to revive him. And in turn, Denji becomes a devil himself and gains the strength to murder the devil that killed him. In combat, he shoots chainsaws out his hand like Wolverine does his claws and goes ballistic. By the way, the CGI blends smoothly with the animation, which is usually a problem with anime series in general. Not long after he kills the devils, a group of devil hunters enter the scene to kill the devils in the area. They see Denji, who appears to look like a devil, but still appears human. The head of the devil hunters, Miss Mikama, walks up to Denji and offers him a choice. They can kill him right now as a devil, or make him help them kill devils as a human. And without much choice, she joins them as the devil hunters who fight by their side, in which the series continues from that point. And the show has already given a lot of depth and complexity to its characters in a matter of a mere 3 episodes. It expands the world and story in a way I haven't seen since Attack on Titan. I did not expect to love the series as much as I did, and I highly recommend it, even if you're on the fence about the series. Not to mention the opening theme song is a banger. So, yeah.
All right.
That sounds pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean, before when I first heard about Chainsaw Man,
I thought of Halloween.
yeah, I was like, all right.
We mentioned it in a podcast, number 4, I think.
It's like, what the heck is that going to be? But that sounds really good.
Yeah, it does. Nice description. Thank you.
No problem.
Now, it reminded me a little bit with some of the things that you said when they were trying to figure out if they want to use them to help them fight or if they want to go ahead and eliminate them. Oh, yeah. And it reminded me a little bit of Demon Slayer.
Yeah. how
Right?
Nezuko is a demon, but she basically is offered the chance to be a demon slayer and stuff like that. That's true. I gotta say, Chainsaw Man in 3 episodes, I think is already better than Demon Slayer. I'm saying it's that it's that good. I'm not joking. I did not expect Chainsaw Man to be as awesome as it was.
Now, how many books have they made? Like, do they have a substantial amount of like? Because it was just turned into a series,
There's
right?
not too many. It's I think it just hit 15 or 18. I don't remember how many, but I mean, now comics are not novels. Meaning, if you see like Harry Potter has like 9 books, like that doesn't sound like a lot, but the novels are massive.
Yes.
Comics, you see more of them being made. Like there's like thousands of issues they're made, but
These are mangas,
they're panels.
right?
Yeah, manga comics. I'm sorry. So basically,
So it's just their manga. They're not manga comics. They're just
Manga.
called
No,
manga,
yeah,
right?
That's what they call it.
Yeah,
just call
comic makes me think
Western, like
of a Western thing. This is
Yeah.
not a Western thing. This is a
yeah,
Japanese anime
yeah.
series.
I just say comic in case you don't know what manga is, but manga is a Japanese comic. The main difference being that they don't color in the pages for whatever reason. But yeah, they rely on shading and like their actual artistic like sketching to make it look realish. So yeah.
That's pretty cool. And it goes from the back to the front, right?
Yeah, back to the front, not front to back.
Yes.
That is true. Yeah, right to left, which it get a little hard to be used to, but you get it pretty fast. So yeah.
Right.
And that leads us to a pretty big thing. Everyone, well, not everyone, but some of you might know Yellowstone, a series on Peacock. I think it was a NBC series, and I think it just went to Peacock afterwards. Now, the big thing is that the show has been
No, it's
massively
Paramount,
successful.
right? Paramount makes it.
It's weird. Paramount makes it, but it's
on
an NBC
Peacock.
series, and
It's-
doing so is on
yeah.
Peacock. It's weird. But yeah, the show has become very successful. And in turn, they have confirmed a prequel series called 1923 that's releasing this December. And it stars our main man, Harrison Ford. So that's pretty fire.
All right.
Yeah, that's very exciting. We actually did a podcast on Yellowstone because we love Yellowstone. It was an episode on our podcast, her, him, and a mic. Check it out. Like, share, and subscribe.
Yes.
But yeah, so we did an episode on it because we are obsessed with this show. It was about seasons 1 through 4, what we felt about the show itself, the characters, all that fun stuff.
Oh, yeah.
It's really good. We really live, like, the show is top notch. We really, really enjoy it. So the fact that there's more Yellowstone coming, aside from season 5, right? So season 5 is coming.
November 13th, everybody.
November 13th. That's exciting. We can't wait. So we're gonna do like a recap every episode. We'll do a little podcast for it. But the fact of the matter is, now we have a prequel
Yes. And the great thing is that it comes out this year as well.
coming, which is
so
crazy.
Yeah, I know. I was so excited for Yellowstone, obviously. Again, November 13th. And the great news is that we didn't hear about the prequel. And I think we didn't hear about it because we just found Yellowstone, right?
Yeah.
So we were able to watch like 4 seasons nonstop, and then kind of saw the now we're right around the corner from season 5, November 13th. But the prequel is releasing this year as well. December 18th.
Yes.
So we're gonna get lots of Yellowstone from the left to the right. From the left to the yes.
delicious-
I'm hyped.
Some delicious Yellowstone content. If you're a fan, you should be excited.
So what generation are they going to be talking about?
I'm pretty sure this is first.
So we got John
generation.
Dutton right now,
Yes.
right? Are we talking about his parents?
No, John Dutton's not in this one. It's the 20s. His grandparents were just kids, I think. But yeah. So this is a while back. You're not going to see any of the fan
So
favorites.
it's his great grandparents,
Yeah. And
his grandparents, their story,
yeah. Basically.
of what led to
The
them
1940s.
having John Dutton.
Yeah. Well, no. It goes from 20s to 40s to 60s to the Duttons we know in Yellowstone. It's multi-generational. It's interesting. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Supposedly, they're saying that if this does really well, they would love to make a 40s and 60s generations of Duttons and stuff like that and tell the stories gradually, like an anthology almost. So, yeah, that could be pretty cool.
I'm freaking excited. Whatever you give me from Yellowstone, I will take. Okay, I was pumped that the show was coming out, and now the fact that, like, obviously, different actors, right? And it's kind of like the way they did it is like, okay, we're going into season 5. People love the show, people love the characters. Let's give them a little bit more depth of their backstory, how they actually got the land, and what led to where we are today. So I'm freaking excited. I'm so excited.
Oh. Okay. There's a freaking, the 1883 is a Yellowstone prequel.
I mentioned that. I thought it was coming out. So
Tim
that's a
McGraw
show.
is in that show.
Wait. So it's on Netflix?
It's already there.
I saw the 1883 is on Netflix.
2021. December.
So these shows are essentially being made by Paramount and kind of like distributed out to different streaming services. Is that what's going on?
So, okay. Hold on. Is that the one on Netflix?
I think it's on Netflix. I think that's what I read.
It's on Paramount Plus.
Okay.
It's in Paramount Plus. It came out this past December.
So this is the thing. We did see like backflash of Tim McGraw in playing. That was that his father, John's father?
I would think so.
So we did see him in the show when they do like flashbacks, right? And we saw how he died on the season 4. Remember, he was he got shot or something, or he died from like an infection that he didn't even realize he was like.
So this is the thing. This is taking place in that same timeline. This is not before that. This is the same people. Tim McGraw, that storyline, this is it, but he died. His brother is Jacob. That's what this new show's about. But it's in 1923, so it's 40 years later. He's older. But that's what it is. It's gonna be. That's why Ford is so old, because it's 40 years after this. But that's the brother of the guy. So this is John Dutton's parents, right?
Okay, well,
parents and his uncle and aunt.
All right. So I'm freaking
Dude, how have we not known about the other one?
I am freaking pumped. I'm just freaking happy we found Yellowstone and it's been a part of our lives.
Dude,
so
we
now,
are watching
the
other one.
Yes. That's happening.
Hold on. When is this? 13th? So we have like 2 weeks to
catch up.
With 1883.
I'm so excited.
Then we're gonna fucking do that one, and then we got 1923. Son of a bitch! This shit is amazing.
Okay, all right.
This is amazing.
Listen, as upset as I am about The Witcher, I'm equally excited about this. This is
on the
crazy.
Opposite scale. This is a beautiful thing.
Crazy,
That's
amazing.
wild.
Merry Christmas to me.
I love how they had the audacity to name the show after a year, claiming a year as a title of their show. Like 1883, that's our name.
Yeah, it's a great name.
Essentially.
I'm so excited.
Now, Harrison Ford can't catch a break. And Marvel just recruited our main man to be Thunderbolt Ross after his unexpected death of William Hurt, the original actor. And he is officially joining Marvel's Captain America New World Order.
Okay, can we take a step back? Who the hell is Thunderbolt Ross?
So, Thetis Thunderbolt Ross, he was back remember the Incredible Hulk from back in the day? He was a general that tried to contain him and all that.
No.
Yeah, but he's had little appearances here and there. Like, he was absent for a long time. He was in the Captain America Civil War. His last appearance was Black Widow, in the prequel and stuff like that. And he died, but they had big plans for him. He was supposed to start a new superhero team called the Thunderbolts.
Okay, so he died as a person, not in the movie.
Not in movies. Yeah.
Okay.
So they had big plans for him, actually. And he passed away before anything could be executed. So the new Captain America comes right after Falcon and Winter Soldier. Sam Wilson is no longer Falcon. He's Captain America.
Well, it comes after the show.
Yeah, the show. Falcon and Winter Soldier. That was a show. And now
that was the show.
Yeah, that was a show.
Oh.
But yeah, now this new movie, New World Order, that's with Sam Wilson being Captain America. And Thunderbolt Ross.
The Falcon is dead. There's no Falcon anymore.
No Falcon. Not at least
So they just deleted a character.
Yep.
They're like, you know what? We don't want this guy.
Maybe there'll be a new Falcon, but not right now.
Let me get that pencil, the eraser, the huge one. Let me just
Falcon gone.
Nah.
Captain America
doesn't exist anymore. But yeah, Thunderbolt he's playing a big role into this, which is supposed to lead into his own movies. So this had to happen. But Harrison Ford, he's 80 years old. The man is like, he's already doing Indiana Jones 5, and they just won't leave him alone.
Yeah, this guy is everywhere right now. I do see him though. I saw the picture with him wearing the cowboy hat, and it's like freaking awesome.
Oh, for Yellowstone, spot on.
Spot on. Like he's gonna just play that role so well. But he is is everywhere. He is talking, like he talks and you hear how old he is and everything, which is funny because that other actor, he's super old. Liam
Neeson.
Yes, and I freaking love him. He's like everywhere. He doesn't sound old like that to me. Like he sounds like such a badass. He doesn't look as old as he is.
If Keanu Reeves was old, essentially.
If Keanu Reeves was old, that may have been spot on. Yes.
Or English, whatever he is.
English.
Is
the accent. But yeah.
I mean, our boy Keanu Reeves is Canadian, so yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
Now, Keanu Reeves was actually not spoken in such well terms by
Matthew Perry, that piece of shit.
Our friend Matthew Perry.
He was being mean for no reason.
He wasn't being mean for no reason. He came out and he put out a statement and said he just used an arbitrary name, which was Keanu Reeves. He didn't mean that Keanu Reeves should be dead. He's saying, like, people say it all the time, like the best actors or the best singers or the best, like Whitney Houston. Why did they have to go when you have all these?
I think that it's just that he picked a name, right? So,
he said he should have done himself, which he did in the book, right? He has his book coming out.
Yes.
In the book, he says, I should be dead, right? So he said he should have just used his name. But, sometimes you're just talking.
This was a statement that he made. He didn't write this in the book about Keanu Reeves.
Nah, it was.
I don't know. Maybe it is in the book.
It is in the book.
But see, that's the thing where it kind of crosses the line because so Keanu Reeves is like married. He has kids and everything. They had a mutual friend that overdosed, right? Matthew and Keanu Reeves, right? Mm-hmm. So essentially, I don't know if he's implying that Keanu Reeves
did drugs
or was a druggie or is still a druggie.
Do we not think that he was?
Yeah, but this is the thing. Like implying it and putting that out there about somebody who's like doing so well and not like starting any trouble with you. It's kind of like out of line a little bit.
Keanu, he's a very good-hearted person. There was a true story where back in 1999, there was like a premiere for The Matrix, stuff like that. And one of the ushers at the theater, he looked really upset. He was probably having a bad day. And then Keanu Reeves stops and sees him, and he just talks to him for like 15 minutes, and he's like happy by the end of it and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Well, he's a hero. Military? Nope. I talk to strangers and make them happy. That's my
only
superpower.
Actors. That's
it.
He's better than Will Smith.
Yes, for sure.
That was a mind boggle.
That's something.
All right.
Matthew Perry's the man.
We got MADMAN.
Well, this actually leads directly from Marvel to the betrayal of James Gunn. And now he's the head of DC now. And I mean, Marvel ditched him a while ago, but he came back for the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special in Volume 3. And now he's like, you know what? I'm staying with DC. They're nicer to me. So
how is that a betrayal?
Well, I mean, everyone I thought they were cool now. He does Guardians for them. Volume 4, if they ever do it, is not James Gunn doing it.
Well, how is that a betrayal if Disney was the one who tossed his ass when they heard about these tweets or whatever that he made back in the day?
And they only brought him back because the actors of Guardians of the Galaxy were like, that's not cool. If he's not in it, I'm not doing it. And then they all just started to quit. And he's like, whoa, we were just joking. Come back.
Yeah, so there's no betrayal. It's just him getting a better offer to run the whole thing.
And the thing is that when you are in that position, right, they did let you go. The only reason you came back in was because the actors took a stand. So essentially, once they stop needing you or they stop making Guardians of the Galaxy or whatever they need you for, you're done, right? Because they did let you go before.
And I don't think there's going to be a Volume 4 unless they announced
Exactly. So, I mean, he did what he had to do for himself. Money talks, and you have to go and find it and get it yourself. Now, is this going to make any changes for DC? I mean, who freaking knows? Because he did make that movie for them, which
Suicide Squad.
The Suicide Squad. That rocked me right to sleep. Thank you very much.
Yeah, knocked
Had
out.
great rest that day.
Knocked out.
So I don't know what it is with DC and like so they try to make it.
That's a problem.
So
Like they go from making like Suicide Squad or Batman versus Superman, it's like what, to making the Joker or the Batman. It's like, oh my gosh.
okay, so but you know what you just said right now? That's exactly why they did this. So this is the thing. Let's not forget that there's like a million Marvel movies, right?
Yes.
But they are all under the scope of Kevin
the
Feige
same.
or Feige
Yes.
or whatever his name. Feige, right? So even though he's not making these individual movies, he's like the puppet master in the back.
He's a
right?
puppeteer.
Making sure that everything lines up
Yes.
and everything goes where it needs to go, right?
Mhm.
So he made that kind of that lineage that makes sure that everything goes together
That everything connects.
before you even know that it would ever connect, right?
Yes.
And that's the genius behind it. And
So they need a leader to go ahead and connect
Yeah,
all the
so
dots and make sure everything's going smoothly.
even though James Gunn maybe didn't rock the world with the Suicide Squad,
Well, it's critically acclaimed though.
okay, so maybe it was whatever. So the point is that with him being in control of all of DC now, even though he might not be making all the movies, he can be like, all right, we're gonna make this Batman movie that's gonna tie into this, Joker movie that's gonna tie into this, and make a lineage that can make sense and build a broader universe that we could actually all get behind instead of this patchy, bullshit thing.
It's
Plus,
a mess.
he can take it, and he made Guardians of the Galaxy. I love the first one. The second one I thought was good. The third one I thought was okay.
Wait, the third one didn't come out yet.
Okay, so not the third one, the second one.
Hey.
I'm
What kind of
anticipating
access
it
do you
feeling
have
okay.
to
all
these
right?
movies, huh?
And the Christmas special looks very charming. So
Oh, they made Funko Pops for them and super cute.
The
Dressed
point
up
is,
like
is
for
that
Christmas and
he
stuff.
does good with comedy. They're funny, right? He does a good job with that stuff. So maybe him having that oversight, he could actually put some life into these characters outside of the gloom and doom that they all freaking have every moment of their lives, and they can have some levity outside of the Joker.
I
right?
agree with you. I do think that it sets you up for a better chance at figuring this out because they do have great characters, right? But somehow they've been living in the shadow of Marvel, right? Who they tend to connect these things so well and have such a good balance between like action and drama and funny and depth, right? So, and that's what they have not been able to find with their movies and their characters, right?
Since Kevin Feige took over.
Exactly. So, I mean, you mentioned something when we were speaking about how is it too late though? Has that moment kind of
yes.
passed? Like the superhero movies, at least for me, or where I can see it, they're not as such a high as they were before. I'm sure they're still making a lot of money, but not the money that they used to make.
They're kind of regressing back to before the Avenger saga, right? Before Iron Man 3.
They beat us over the head with the superhero movies just nonstop. So maybe like pulling back a little bit might give us that excitement that we need.
That's where everything went to like, I don't know. It's not a bad place. I mean, right now they're setting up for the Secret Wars, which is a big one, where all the multiverses go into like this crazy war of who's a true multiverse and all that. And and apparently as per the comics, it's some of the best comics ever made or something like that. So I think that they're like trying to start over almost. Like have the heroes that are still alive, like Black Panther and Spider-Man, but bring in Shang-Chi and like the Eternals and all these other guys. And Disney Plus made it even more convoluted with the series. But that gave us WandaVision, which was a nice take, and Loki was really good. But then there's like She-Hulk and Miss Marvel, and there's like other stuff, or I Am Groot.
Well,
like, okay.
She-Hulk and Miss Marvel, I'm sure, are fine shows.
I
just
think
like
that
the other
Disney-
ones.
She-Hulk. A lot of people said She-Hulk started with potential, but got really boring. And Miss Marvel felt like a Disney Channel series, apparently. And I Am Groot it's like literally just like animated shorts that are about Groot doing stupid shit. So yeah.
Kind of like Forky. So I do think that what Disney's doing is taking obviously Disney Plus has not been around for a really long time, right? So what they're doing is taking advantage of all these characters and all these things that they know and kind of just like throwing it in there.
Well,
right?
they're making Disney Plus a
it
must-have thing.
Yes, so
right?
they're
If
doing
you're into
it.
this
I
stuff.
get why they're doing it, right? They're trying to throw all their cards down and have as many subscribers as they possibly can. But yeah, when it comes to the movies, they need to like kind of slow it down and maybe reset. I think the bigger problem that happened is that all these characters that we fell in love with, like Iron Man, Captain America, Black Widow, like they're all like done.
On.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what the Spider-Man is the one that like I thought they found the perfect freaking Spider-Man, and
I think they did.
yes, they did. So I feel like that's what they need to do with the other characters, right? Find them and have us fall in love with new characters, find the right characters, and then start resetting everything. But when it comes to DC, I think that even their villains are so dark.
What,
But
Marvel?
I'm sorry, DC.
DC,
yeah.
When it comes to DC, their villains are so dark, but also their heroes, like Batman, is as like it comes from such a dark place, right?
Everybody's
He's
dark.
the hero,
It's
but
only
he's
darkness.
also very dark. Like he's been through so much crap. He has so much resentment. He has so much anger inside of him. So that's where I think they have trouble finding the balance with their characters.
Yeah.
Now actually as we're talking about this, it is making me kind of look at it a little bit differently, because it might just be that DC actually has the most potential to make an impact, because Marvel's kind of on this, we've already
Almost
seen
like
it all there.
downward spiral almost.
Excuse me. Like we've already seen the heights of Marvel.
Yes.
And it's like, all right, we've had enough. And like now it's almost like DC has the opportunity to be like, you're tired of that, but look at us now.
Now,
Like
if
now
DC
we're popping, and it could almost flip the table on Marvel and put this shine on DC if they can make Batman different.
Like
Yeah.
like the Robert Pattinson Batman has shown a lot of potential.
Yeah, but that doesn't fit into the world of DC, which is, if you're having James Gunn oversee DC, that's because you want him to be the Kevin Feige of DC. You want him to connect everything. That Batman is a one-off,
Little bubble.
like a side off, right? They need to stop the side shit. They need to make
The
it
funny thing,
where
the side is the stuff that's actually good.
but that's
I
the
agree with
point.
that,
That's the
yes.
point. They need to make it where they can be to be clear, they can have their own Batman movie, but that Batman needs to be the Batman that's also in the universe. You know what I'm saying? It's not like you have this
All right,
Spider-Man who's
C-Money.
in the universe, and then there's a different Spider-Man who
Yes.
only plays that Spider-Man world.
You're onto something. I am sick of the Marvel movies. I
Yeah.
feel like they've shown all their cards. I think that the characters, again, they're kind of gone, the ones that we fell in love with, and
Well-
they have to kind of reset. But maybe potentially this is the window that DC does need, and bringing him in is going to reset that. Maybe they can find the balance in these movies and give us what we're looking for. Because I do love Superman, right? I do love
think of-
Superman. I love Superman from freaking Smallville,
Yep.
right? Watch the show, 10 seasons, great show. And like, I would love to see these characters. And I mean, you spoke, Madman, about the Flash movie and supposedly being like a phenomenal movie.
The Flash is supposed to scrap everything, restart the new universe, but make it.
But that's worthless, because the guy who plays him
It's totally-
is a criminal. So that's not going to go anywhere
Actually,
further.
he's actually facing
Doesn't-
a trial right now that he could be locked up for 20
Yeah,
years.
yeah. So it doesn't matter how good this movie is. It's dead. Because
No,
even
but
if it's
they're releasing
amazing.
it. They're supposedly they're
I'm
releasing
sorry.
it.
I'm sorry.
No, meaning that's as far as it's
meaning
going to go.
They're not going to make another one.
From
So there's no.
jail?
Yeah, he's done. So they got to find
From
another
jail.
Flash.
He's like, we got $2 billion. Release this man.
let's look at what's happening here. Let's play this shit right.
Yeah.
DC is not fucking around. Ben Affleck is back as Batman. People like Ben Affleck as Batman. He was a good Batman, and they're bringing him back. He was going to be done. You know what I'm saying? But they're bringing him back to be Batman. Superman, Henry Cavill, he was out.
He's back. Yes.
But they're bringing him back. They're going and they're taking the fan favorites of these people and bringing them back because they're going to try to make a run for it. Isn't Momoa, what's his name? Jason Momoa, Aquaman.
He's Aquaman, yeah.
Isn't he gonna be? He's still there, right?
Yeah,
he's gonna be Aquaman.
There. Yeah, they're making a new one.
Okay, so he went off and did other stuff, getting more popular. Now he's coming back to be Aquaman.
Yeah,
I think that they're cultivating their characters and trying to make their original Avenger squad of people that we give a shit about.
Just don't bring back Will Smith.
Hold on, bro.
As Deathshot, he was in Suicide Squad.
There's no better gangster to bring back than Will Smith. This man will slap you.
The face
he will slap you live on TV at the Oscars.
He just has to slap Doomsday and everything's
if
done.
There's nothing more gangster. That's a real Deadshot.
That's fair enough. He really got a Deadshot. Now
he has some street cred.
If you guys remember, there was the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League that was actually really good. So they have potential. They could do great stuff with them. They've shown that.
Yeah,
but,
they just need a vision, one single vision.
I'm in. You've enlightened me. I think that potentially this could be what they need. Potentially they're recruiting their squad. Maybe they're gonna make something magical happen. I'm waiting on it, DC. Let's see what you got. I hope so, because I feel like they do have amazing characters. They're just not connected right. They kind of clash into each other. And maybe just get your favorites, right? The ones that did well, pay them the money, bring them back in, and then recast the dead weight. You know, the ones that didn't do so well. Find the right people, just like they found Spider-Man, right?
Yeah,
he is
find
perfection.
The right
find the right characters, find the right actors, and potentially you can create something amazing.
And if you guys remember the Marvel thing, like a lot of them are kind of whatever, but we kind of overlook him because there's a lot of story to it. It's not so great, and the fact that things have kind of changed. But Black Panther, those have been consistent. Like the first Black Panther was actually a great movie, one of Marvel's best. And this Wakanda Forever looks like it could potentially be the best Marvel movie, just from like trailers, stuff like that alone, and reactions saying how it's Marvel's most powerful and poignant movie they've ever made. And I think that Black Panther is going to be like Marvel's crown jewel. Like that's their even Oscars acknowledge.
Yeah, but the problem
I agree.
But the problem with me for that stuff is that that's not enough. It's not enough to make one good movie.
Well,
it doesn't matter anymore. Like we're past.
That's what we said. We're talking DC, and what's happening to Marvel is DC moments right now, right?
Exactly. You got the one Batman that's good. That's the exactly. See, that's the problem. So Wakanda Forever being good doesn't mean anything because it's going to be one good movie. Just
one, yes.
We have to get back to
every
Iron
movie
Man,
being
Iron
great.
Man 2, Iron Man 3. Captain America, the second one, like every
Thor.
single one was a banger all the way to Endgame Part 2.
And then it all went to crap.
Infinity War, Endgame.
Yeah.
Infinity War Part 2.
Whatever. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Basically, until that moment, everything was a banger. Everything we were like, how does it connect? What's going to be here? What are we going to see here?
Who's coming?
Let's stay at the end of the credits.
Yep.
Every single time.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I never left a movie theater until the end of the credits when we went to go see them at that time because it was like, what are we going to see?
And then you left feeling so excited. Oh my gosh, I can't wait. I can't. Now I'm falling asleep.
Dude, I fall asleep.
Come on.
It's the comfort of my home and I'm sleeping.
And I think right after Endgame, we got Black Widow. I was excited for it.
Black Widow was good. I like that. But,
oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. But the point is that one-offs are not going to be enough. Marvel needs to find a way to make every single one of their movies and TV series count. And right now, they're not. I feel like DC has the most potential right now to flip the script, come in with some bangers, and really set the stage for something that could be big. And this is what we want to have happen because you need, just like Xbox and PlayStation.
Yes.
There needs to be competition. Right now, Marvel is like, dude, we could put out some trash and it's still better than DC's best. So they're going to come to us for freaking their superhero fix.
I do think Black Widow was just okay. I think that she fought so hard to get this movie made that it was kind of like they didn't want to give her and then on top of it, it was a Disney release, like on the Disney app.
Well, it was a multi-release, theaters and Disney Plus.
Yes, but what happened was that it was first released, or something happened where the movie
beef
was being recorded and passed on, so the movie wasn't able to make the money that it could have made. That was
the beef, because they basically tied her bonus to the
like
how
royalties
successful
or
it was.
something. Yes,
but you can't tie it to the theater release.
Yes, when you're streaming
you're giving
the
it away
movie.
too.
Yes,
you can't do that.
Exactly. So, I do the one movie I am very excited for is Deadpool. I'm very
Deadpool
excited.
3.
I cannot wait to see that.
Wolverine's in there.
Yes.
That's Hugh Jackman. They were confirmed it's not canon to Logan. I mean, Logan is its own little thing, but in this multiverse or this universe right now, or this line, Hugh Jackman's alive as Wolverine and stuff like that.
They need to do X-Men like their new, like a new Avengers.
Yeah, it's called the Mutants and stuff like that. It's not gonna be just X-Men, the Mutants, and it's gonna have they're building a team, and Black Panther is actually gonna introduce the first mutants, the new one coming.
Yeah. That's dope. They need to.
That's how desperate they are, though, because they didn't want to let Deadpool in because it wasn't to like Disney standards.
Well,
and now it's like, okay, well, here we go. Let's go in on this and let's make our money.
They were gonna, however, for the longest time they said it's not gonna be a Marvel movie. It's gonna be a Fox branded movie. And for the longest time I was like, that stinks. Like it's like saying you're part of it, but you're not. It's a little upsetting. Then it wasn't until this Deadpool teaser that Ryan Reynolds dropped that they officially like put the Marvel Studios logo, and that's where you know it's like, all right, it's part of the family now.
Yeah.
So yeah. It's like that weird step cousin that you're like, I don't know. But then you're like, get in the family photo, son.
Our movies are not doing that well. So come on in. Let's figure it out. You might save us from this mess that we've got going on and we've created.
No, imagine an alternate universe where Kevin Feige joined DC. Well, that's what almost happened. And he was offered a position at DC and he was like, no. So yeah. Ugh.
Well, I mean, that's why they went to James Gunn, right? Because they try to do somebody who has a name, who has some clout. But yeah, they went to Kevin Feige and tried to see if he would be willing to come over. Obviously,
they showed him the money.
They showed him the money, but not enough, because there's always a number that would make you go.
Yeah, exactly.
But they didn't show him enough money because it's a risk, and I get it. And to James Gunn is probably a hell of a lot more money than they paid him to direct to run DC. So it's an easy win for him. But yeah, I mean, look, this is becoming interesting. Let me put it that way.
You brought up some excellent points. I'm kind of excited to see if that's what's going to happen. So let's see.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Oh yeah. Now, HBO Max has always been the home of DC for the longest time. Discovery bought them. Things are starting to get messy. But one of HBO Max's biggest originals, undoubtedly, is House of the Dragon. Game of Thrones as a whole has been insanely successful for Warner Brothers. They won't stop releasing Game of Thrones content if you ask them nicely. And now people are complaining about episode 7, how a scene was so dark you couldn't really see what was going on. There was a bunch of tweets about like what's going on. Is the episode messed up? Is my TV messed up? What's wrong? I'm freaking out here. And then HBO Max comes out and like, listen, it's not your fault. It's not our fault. It was our director's creative choice. We are perfect. He is the problem. So yeah, basically it was literally too dark, literally.
I don't know how long this clip was on this episode that people were like freaking out about their own TVs. Like, how long was it like that dark for?
Is it the whole episode?
I think multiple shots or something like that were just too dark and people were getting weirded out. There was I think some fight scenes, some suspect scenes, some other stuff. I think that, it just...
All right, so this is the thing.
So that was a little dramatic. That was easy to figure out. Put on another show and see if the TV keeps flickering.
Yeah, I know. It's ridiculous.
Right?
But I think at the end of the day, I'm all for creative, expression. And yeah, I really want to make that scene dark to set a tone or a stage. But like, there is a responsibility as a creator.
Yes.
To make sure that the people that you're creating for, because let's not forget, you're not creating this for yourself, right?
Exactly.
Like, that's not your purpose. Nobody wakes up and says, I want to make art so that I can stare at it. Most of the time, people want to make art for it to be seen.
Yes,
right?
to be appreciated,
people
to be, yes.
can appreciate
You
it.
can't see that
like
art for sure. Literally.
Yeah. It's like you have to be like, all right, is this too dark? Let's lighten it up a little bit, or put some more contrast in it where it's dark, but you still see it, enough. But I guess also we haven't seen it, so they might just be full of shit, and we can watch it on our nice TV and like,
Hey.
it looks great on my TV.
Whoa, those dragons look so real.
You know what happens?
What?
They don't have OLED. So because they don't have those perfect blacks.
See, but that's what I
on the
said.
screen-
I said maybe the way they made it, they were able to see the definition and the what they were looking for.
Yeah.
To
See,
the
most of these people
contrast of what they wanted to show.
have bootlegged TVs, like these cheaper TVs, so the blacks are gray.
And
you know what I'm
that's
saying?
where
And
it
you can't
becomes
see the
difficult
detail.
to see. Yes.
You don't got good contrast on there, so you can't see
It's just
it.
all the
We
same.
should what episode is it? 7?
7. Yes.
Let's watch that episode.
Let's check it out. Let's see.
And
Let's
we'll
see
see
what
how-
everyone's talking
We'll
about.
update you
Oh,
on next podcast next week.
Maybe you
to
guys
see
should do
if
a
episode 7 is actually dark.
Maybe you should do a him, her, and a mic about it. That could be cool.
Well, we're going to check it out. And those of you out there that haven't seen it, maybe go check it out and see what you think. And if it popped up or if it's just a black screen, we'll see. We'll see what happens. So what do we got?
But you know what isn't too dark?
What?
Bayonetta 3. Yes, we've mentioned it a couple times on the podcast, and the game has finally released 2 days ago. How exciting is that? Now, the Helena Taylor situation, I don't think anyone's listening to her anymore because it's topping charts all over the place. It's been super successful, mostly thanks to the controversy, if we're being honest. And the game has been scoring fantastically, a Metacritic of 89 as of right now. Reviews have been spot on, and yeah, it's all been great.
So let me say something about that. I don't think the controversy had shit to do with it, because at the end of the day, the reason why it's popping off is because it's a Nintendo exclusive.
Yes.
And all the people who only have Nintendo Switches are like, yes, give me Bayonetta 3. They don't even know that this shit on Twitter is happening.
Potentially not. Yeah. And I think what did happen, though, is that she was obviously trying to block the game, trying to see if people wouldn't buy it. But I think that's what backfired. The game is doing well. The Masquerade edition.
The Trinity
man.
Masquerade.
Yes.
Stunning.
We have
Stunning.
it.
We did an unboxing.
We did an unboxing.
We did a
That's up
gameplay.
already.
Yes, we did the gameplay as well.
Yes, we did.
And it's freaking stunning.
That's up on Doodle's Never Have I Ever Played.
Yes.
I have not played it, but I'm super excited. Bayonetta 1 and 2 were fantastic games, especially the second one. That was a big jump, and you could tell how much love and passion was put into it. And part 3, I think it's going to be no exception. It's going to be a fantastic game. I know it. Supposedly, it's already the best Bayonetta.
Well, if you watch the gameplay we did, it's really good. But what shocked me was how nice it looked up close.
For like a Switch game, especially, yes.
No, but just in general, compared to any game,
It was
up close,
stunning.
it's stunning.
Yes.
All the up close details, beautiful, like stunning. What it showed me is that if this game was made for Xbox, the rest of the game would look like that, and not like a
Just like
PlayStation 2 era game when you zoom out.
PlayStation 2 era
When you zoom out, everything is very
was
blocky, blurry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
But
has
up close,
that. Yes,
stunning.
it has that older game look when you look back at like
Yep.
the trees and the
And
buildings and everything
out
like
in the
that.
water
Yes,
and stuff.
but when the close-ups are beautiful. So first
and the
of
game
all,
plays well.
the
It's
game plays
just as
well.
good as
yes.
always.
And I will say that we need a Bayonetta boutique or a store somewhere online where we can get these dresses, the outfits, the shoes. Come on. We need it. We need it. The fashion is on point. Okay?
I mean,
And
like, I don't need it, but I would say.
No, I'm sorry. Us girlies,
Gotta,
we need it.
gotta.
We need it. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying, I don't know. Bayonetta 3, I just can't wait. I mean, it's going to be so good. Not only am I a fan of Bayonetta, but also Devil May Cry, which I haven't had much experience with, but Devil May Cry 5 is fire. And I think that style of game, if you're into Devil May Cry, you'll love Bayonetta. You'll definitely love Devil May Cry. They go hand in hand. I think that
Man, you bringing that up is like shit. Devil May Cry 5
it's gorgeous.
is stunning.
It's freaking gorgeous
Like,
on
it is
Xbox.
unbelievably beautiful.
Holy cow, it's beautiful.
And again, God damn it, Nintendo. Just make a freaking console that has power. I want to see pretty games. I want to see the next freaking Mario and the next freaking Zelda look like it deserves to look. High
Beautiful.
quality.
Imagine a Mario
We're done
video
with
game.
the old style looking games.
Imagine a Mario video game that looks like that Mario movie trailer. Oh
yeah,
my
we
God.
should be close to that shit, especially this generation. This generation right now, if Nintendo said, you know what, let's experiment. We're gonna make an Xbox exclusive Mario.
Oh my God.
I mean, look at this car on screen. You telling me they can't make Mario look that good? Yes, they can.
Mario's like a car. I mean, imagine.
I want to see individual whiskers on his mustache.
Little hairs.
Okay?
The mustache.
I want to see it when he's running. I want to see the mustache
bouncy hair.
slapping him on his
The
face.
pores and every little grain of detail, the eyes. You should see inside the pupils.
Yeah, man. Ray
The
trace.
reflection in the eyeballs. Yes.
Listen,
So,
fireballs, everything. Ray trace. Come on,
Listen,
man.
I thought about it for like a second.
Yes.
Okay. I have
Ready.
to say,
Say it.
you boys, I said us girlies want this, but you boys should want it too. Okay.
What?
The Bayonetta store, okay, for the outfits and the shoes and the stuff to buy for us ladies, because
mean-
those tell me those outfits are not on point and you wouldn't want to see
You in it? Yes, absolutely.
So this store is for everybody, okay?
true.
So let's start a plead for it.
All right, Nintendo. I want
Get those
Nintendo
outfits.
branded
'Cause
Bayonetta
let's face it.
lingerie.
Let's face it, you're gonna be paying for it.
I will be paying for it gladly. Absolutely.
Exactly.
When I have a wife, Merry Christmas.
There you go.
Bayonetta.
See? There we go.
Oh yeah. All right. Whoa. That was exciting. Bayonetta 3, I'm hyped. And
We didn't mention.
Did we?
We
What?
didn't mention because
didn't.
the last time. So partially
Oh!
of what she. Sorry, we forgot.
Completely
partially
forgot.
of what she was saying was the truth.
Yes.
Yes. So and we got the wrong name. It's not
Okay,
It's
so
not
that's the
Cortana.
biggest thing.
oh, yes.
That last podcast, we went in on the idea that she was being replaced by Cortana of Halo fame.
Yep.
That was a lie.
And that was incorrect. They're both named Jennifer. So Jennifer Hale is the voice of Bayonetta 3 now. And she did really good so far.
Wait, so she wasn't Cortana. She's not the
She's
same.
not Cortana.
Yes, but she is who? Yeah, she's
From
in
Mass Effect.
Yeah.
So she did Mass Effect. Now, to be fair, pre this whole situation, I always thought that Cortana was also the Mass Effect
Female
voice
Shepherd?
too, because I thought Jen Taylor and Jennifer Hale were the same person.
Wait.
But they are not. Jennifer Taylor is the voice of Cortana.
Look at you learning new things.
That's to show you.
Thank you, old Bayonetta.
Yeah, thank you. You
changed my
enlightened me.
perspective.
You enlightened me. So now I know that I don't need to mess that up
Good.
every time now. And I know Jen Taylor is Cortana. So that was all incorrect. So scratch the whole discussion we had there. But Jennifer Hale is also equally as popular.
Talented.
She's done the voice of Mass Effect and other people.
She's got a lot of video games and television
So
credits.
it's the idea is the same, right? Her being more famous is going to bring in
Yes, the
new
idea and
people.
everything we said was essentially correct. Well, we stand behind what was said.
It's just the detail
It's
of
just
it
that
being
we
Cortana's
added the
voice.
fact that she was Cortana, but essentially anybody who's played Mass Effect and finds out that she's the new Bayonetta may want to check out the game because the fans that
she has her
from
own
other
fans
things,
who
right?
rally behind her.
So the problem was that you had mentioned to me, CMoney, that because I wasn't. She came out and she said I was almost homeless, and this is what they were willing to pay me, and it kind of sounded a little bit off to me because, right, what are you going to do in a situation where you need the money, right? Even if
Yep.
it's not what you feel you deserve for the game and whatever, you need the money,
gonna take
so
the
you're
money.
going to take the money, right? You're
Yep.
going to get the work that you can get if you're in that situation, I assume. And then on top of it, it happened right before the game release. So it seemed like it was just an attempt to kind of block it off. And because she was maybe potentially a little bitter about the fact that they didn't give her what she wanted, which she never told us. That was another thing. She never disclosed how much she was asking for. So they did.
And we still don't know how much she's asking
exactly. So they did raise what they were paying. But I mean, when I hear the numbers, I still don't think she is Bayonetta. She is the face of the game, essentially, or the voice of the game, right? So she does deserve to get paid well. But you did mention, CMoney, that there is a budget, right? That they have to follow, right?
Absolutely.
So however they figure, and they still went up with whatever they were going to pay her. But what made me really back her was that you did say she has everything to lose by coming out and saying this, right? Because essentially, who's going to hire someone who comes out and when they don't get what they want, they will come and out everything, right? And say everything that happened, right? You're under contract, right? So that kind of resonated with me. And I was like, shoot, she may be in this situation. Maybe she is. They were only trying to pay her $4,000 to voice the whole thing. It turns out that it wasn't the $4,000, and she kind of tweaked some things here and there.
That was the afterwards. After she denied the money, she declined it. She said, "I'm not going to do the game." They reached back out 11 months later, saying, "Hey, listen, will you do a cameo? Like, we'll give you this other character. We'll pay you $4,000 to do the few sessions or whatever it is, or maybe it was just one session. It might have just been one day. Come in. We're going to give you $4,000 today." To come in and record lines for this one character who's going to be in the game for 15 minutes or whatever it is, just as a cameo. Like, oh, I hear that voice. Look, she's still in the game.
Yes.
Right? Like, why not? First of all, why not take that too? But at the end of the day, that's what that 4,000 was for, even though she alluded to the idea to do the whole game was 4,000. No.
Exactly.
It was 4,000 just for that part. She was going to be offered roughly around 3,000 a session. It was going to be roughly around 5 sessions to do the whole game, and that's why she would have gotten 15,000. But the question is that enough, right? Is that what people who are in her position should be getting paid for? And I got to tell you, regular celebrities, right? Actors, I don't know of any voice actor, okay, who's exclusively voice actor, who gets paid like the regular actors who show their face and make movies, right? Who are acting on scene, who are changing their lifestyles and their body,
their physique,
and their looks, and all this shit to be in a movie, right? Sometimes risking their lives doing stunts and doing all this shit.
There are a few,
right? I think there's a difference, right? And I think the idea, I mean, it's just me. The idea that somebody who lends their voice to a game thinks that they should be paid at that level of stardom is insane. Because guess what? Even actors who do all those things, the ones who are lesser known, don't make that money.
Yeah.
It's not a reality. And nobody knew. And I mean, again, I had no idea who Bayonetta was.
You know?
And you never cared to research who Bayonetta was, right? So
that lady wasn't famous to me.
Point.
Bayonetta was famous to me.
Yes. And so the game, the graphics was put into it. Like that's, yes, she is Bayonetta. She is the voice, but so much more goes into it than just that. Now they did up what they were paying.
Yeah, she got paid more.
Yes,
I think the first game she only got paid $3,000 to do the whole game.
That's bad.
Yeah, but that's because it was a new game.
And she barely did anything.
And she never did anything before that of substance. But at the end of the day, they did go up on the price. If you make $15,000 for 5 days of work, come on, man.
Oh,
that's crazy. I mean, that's good money.
There are few. It's like very few instances where the voice
like
actors
$1,000 an hour, bro,
get like paid like a lot, and stuff like that. I mentioned him before, and I think like maybe last podcast. But there was a guy, Billy West, who was being paid millions just to do voice work for like Ren and Stimpy or Doug, and he was like,
but there's a big difference. That's specialty. that's not his normal voice.
Of course,
when
not.
you walk around the street, you don't hear him talk normal to his girlfriend or his wife, and you're like, oh my god, Ren, Stimpy.
It's like saying that. It's
You know.
like saying that the guy that plays SpongeBob should be getting
Tom
paid.
Kenny?
Yes.
He gets paid a decent amount of money.
Of course he should, but
that's
it's like
specialty.
saying that he should be
created
getting
a real character.
you know,
Like the voice of SpongeBob is what
him,
defines
yes.
SpongeBob.
Yeah.
Everything Bayonetta, like I first said when we talked about this last time, before I knew this Helena Taylor, I feel like, and this is not me being anything other than realistic, I feel like it was generic British woman voice number 3. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. It's
Like there's a line of British women who could have done that role and done it just as good without.
now I did notice, like in Bayonetta 3, what instantly came to my head is that when I heard her voice, I'm like, that's not her. Like I was like, nah, they changed her.
No, I think I don't know what you're listening to, but when we heard it, it sounds pretty close.
Oh, you get past it right away.
Yeah,
You don't
right away.
if you pay attention and notice like the difference, you kind of get past
maybe
it right
slight
away.
articulation.
In the beginning, we thought that was the real
that was a
voice, but it's
different
just
voice.
like a narrator going over everything that's going on. But once it kicks in, it's just
You're not there for the voice.
Yes, it starts off, and it's actually what really caught my eye. It's like Bayonetta's always so intense, and it starts with her so lighthearted, just walking down the street in like light colors and just bubbly and
happy.
everything. Yes, happy. So that was really cool. But if she had came out and been more honest in more detail, I think that when you're. Of course, because I feel like if she didn't think that was enough, she could have came and said what the amount was that wasn't enough and what she was asking for. And I think that had she just spoke her piece, right, without tweaking it, when you're asking people to back you up and you're asking people not to buy a game and you're asking people to support you, you have to tell the details and you have to make sure that they're 100% truth. So what I feel is that she was, even though it wasn't, it was partially true, it wasn't the whole truth.
No.
So I don't think that was right of her to do.
Even if you want to bend it a little bit to try to see something that maybe she mistook it, like maybe when she first declined the offer for the 10, they raised it up to 15 or whatever the hell. And then she declined that. Maybe she thought that they were going to come back with another offer, but she didn't hear anything from them for 11 months. And then the next time they came back was at 4,000. So maybe to her, it's like, you were offering me this and now you're coming at me with 4,000 to do the role or a role. Maybe that was her mindset. Who knows? But even still,
maybe she didn't know. Maybe she thought they'll end up coming back. Maybe she didn't know they were recording the freaking game and that the game was coming out. And when she found out, she said, "Look at what they did to me."
Yep.
But when you're going to say what they did to you, you need to be very specific. Okay, because there are a lot of people that get paid a lot less than that. And a lot of people came out stating these things, right? So I think there's a problem when you're going to, when you're in a victim situation or you have your story to tell and you tweak it like this, you're making it questionable for anybody else who wants to come and say, please have my back. This is what happened to me. And when she tweaked it, it's kind of like, well, what are you tweaking, right? It's hard to come and tell your story. It's hard to say, hey, guys, please have my back on this. So that's why it's very important that all the details were included. That's what I feel.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think that, like, this whole thing, it kind of shows how just a little change of words can really change everything.
That's
words
a big
matter.
thing. Yes, words are very important and well said.
Now, like Halloween's tomorrow, but 2 days from now is November 1st, and November is upon us. November 4th is going to be a good day if you're a One Piece fan, because One Piece Film Red releases in North America on November 4th, as previously stated, and so far it has gained massive acclaim from news outlets that have taken the time to review the movie. And it's supposedly it shakes up the sort of formula. They even had a musical number, which it sounds like it should have been corny, but supposedly it was actually really cool. They did a lot to make it different. And this is not their first One Piece movie. There's like 14 of them. I'm like, oh my God. But yeah, supposedly this is really good. The animation has improved as the series went on. There was an episode, I think 1000 or something like that blew up because of how crazy the animation was. They went all out with the money and shit like that. And I think that this is really cool. So,
So they've made that many movies. They have a show as well, correct?
Oh yeah, a show, manga, and a show that has been running 20 years but has 1,000 episodes. Meanwhile, Simpsons has been running for 30 years, 700 episodes. What's the diagnosis? What happened?
But you did mention that a lot of the times what they do is that they do fillers between the movie and the episodes, right?
The mangas
Yeah,
and the
So
episodes.
so only like what, half of them or something
No,
are
no, that-
actual?
No, I
That's
was talking
Naruto.
about Naruto.
One
yeah,
Piece is
I
actually
heard that's
supposedly
the
Big boy of it
that's
all.
the way they do it in Naruto. That they follow the manga,
Manga?
but the
Yeah.
manga, but because the manga takes longer to come out, they make episodes that correlate to the manga, and then in between every new manga, they just release like filler episodes that are
Meaningless.
that don't matter.
Now,
to
One
the
Piece
story.
is actually not that big of an offender. There are filler episodes, but not as many as Naruto. Dragon Ball Z similar. I think like out the 900, 200 or 300 are like not necessary. So yeah, that's still a lot. But yeah, and Naruto, you brought that up, but it's 20 years old now or something like that. I don't know if this is where you heard it from, but this show is not the best looking show now because it's much older. But they took the liberty of reanimating like, super important or big scenes and making it looking absolutely gorgeous. I've seen Naruto, I could not care less, but even I was like, God dang, that looks gorgeous. Like it could be compared to Demon Slayer. It's beautiful. Holy cow,
Nice.
It's insanely beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there's a lot of power in going back to older things that you've done and remaking them for a new audience. Because this is the reality. I don't give a shit how good something is, especially a manga like animation.
Yeah.
If me going back to start that, if I want to be like, all right, I want to start Naruto, right? It's Naruto. It's still out. I want to start from the beginning. Then I go back and it looks like shit. I'm not gonna want to fucking watch it.
It's true.
I'm not gonna watch it. Like remake it for me. You know, remake it
phrase.
for the new people who are exposed to high quality shit now. This is like what we're talking about with The Witcher. That remake, nobody wants to go back and play Witcher 1.
Why?
Because I
Why
want to
will
cut it
you
deep.
listen?
I want to
Why
cut
will
it
you
deep.
remind me of my pain? No.
But same thing, Resident Evil 1. Go back and remake that shit because there's people who playing Resident Evil 4 now that's being remade. And they're like, well, I want to go back to where it started. Let me play Resident Evil 1. How can I play it? Oh, I got to play
Buy
the
a GameCube.
shitty GameCube version that's old as dirt right now. No.
I know. Jeez. I mean,
make it real now.
I mean, have you tried playing the original Final Fantasy VII? There's a reason why it was remade.
Yeah, like remake the big ones, the classics. Go back.
Do you guys think, because we spoke of Resident Evil, right? And I was saying how they make a lot of collector's editions now with normally they're GameStop exclusive. So for Resident Evil 4, they did the remake. GameStop has a pre-order of, it's like, I think $250, and they have the collector's edition with the nice statue and everything. Do you guys think that they're going to make a collector's edition for The Witcher as well? Wouldn't that be freaking phenomenal?
I'm sure they will.
They will
made
for sure.
one for Witcher 3, I'm pretty sure.
a big one.
And they made one for Cyberpunk.
Oh yeah.
So
I think they'll do something funny.
Listen, CD Projekt Red is a main event now.
Oh, they are.
They're not like little crappy stuff. If they making something, people want it, and they're gonna make a collector's edition for it.
They're gonna really want it.
Well, in about 4 years.
We'll get it.
No. I don't think it'll take that
It's right
long.
around the corner.
I don't think it's
for
going to
sure.
take that long
Give it
because
2 years.
they're remaking a game that already exists. So it's just the gameplay that they have to work on. The story's there, the direction on cutscenes,
The
characters. They don't have to do any of that stuff. So I don't think it's going to take that long. Maybe 3 years. We get another one.
Yeah.
But
You heard it.
if I'm right, I'm right.
Right.
But
If
yeah,
you're not, then
then I would be wrong by definition.
Yeah.
Horribly
definition.
wrong.
I would be wrong.
Now, I think we all know that tomorrow is Halloween. And I mean, I know that it came out a little bit ago, but I mean, I couldn't help myself. We had to talk about something Halloween-ish. And Halloween Ends. Whether you liked it or
The
not.
best name.
Halloween Ends. Yep, it's done. Oh my God, Halloween Ends. It really does. Wow.
That was epic.
That was actually
Sorry,
pretty beautiful.
Halloween lovers.
It's good, but yeah. Now, Halloween Ends was a gripping conclusion to the 40-year timeline of Halloween. It ended it all.
Which we saw it.
Yes.
We saw it. We liked it. Right?
We did.
Halloween's
Yes,
a mess.
I enjoyed that.
Like,
All right, cool.
the original movie is the only one that you can just watch no matter what, but it's so weird, the timelines. There's the original timeline, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. The Seasons of Witch timeline, which is just 3. Then there's the 20 years timeline, which is 20 years later and Resurrections. And then there's Rob Zombie's timeline, which is Halloween 1 and 2, but rebooted. And then there's a new timeline, which is Halloween 2018, Kills and Ends. It's like, where do you
Well,
start?
that's not the timeline. The kills and whatever,
Well,
kills and ends. That's from the first one.
Yeah.
So that's
No, I mean-
only real timeline.
Well,
It's
no, they've
Halloween
made like
1.
branches of
Halloween,
it.
you can either watch the original timeline or the new timeline. Everything else just scratches it up.
meaning
or you can
hey,
watch them all.
Oh, or the
or
20
you
years
could do
later
that.
timeline.
But the original Halloween
Huh?
is followed by 2018's Halloween
Yeah.
Kills, and then this
no,
one-
2018 is Halloween. It's just Halloween.
whatever Halloween.
And
You're right.
Kills
You
and
said
Ends.
kills and ends. You confused me.
Yeah.
But this one is ends. These 3 movies are that's the story.
It's, I don't know.
That's the original story. That's
I mean,
the
technicality wise, 2 and 4, it's weird. That's why you think about it, because this is technically a what if, because this came after the original time it was established. Like, it was 1, 2, that 3 had nothing to do with it. Then 4, 5, 6, and now it's a story. And then this was like, the director was like, what if things were different? And they basically, they're like 2 made them brother and sister, Michael Myers and Laurie, but they scratched all that and they just made their
But
own.
that's what I'm saying. So they have the original one and then these last 2.
The latest
That is everything else between what happened in the first one and what happened in the 2018 one is just fillers, nonsense.
Kind of like
Yeah, just like the mangas.
Yes.
All right,
So-
the anime.
So what's the controversy with Halloween
The big
Ends?
problem is that the whole market, almost a little false advertising almost, but the whole marketing, all the backflips and songs and dance were all for the final fight between Laurie and Michael Myers. And in the end, that only took up less than 20 minutes of the movie. A majority of the movie was about a new killer, Corey Cunningham, who had a really bad tragedy on a Halloween night where the kid he was supposed to be watching was actually murdered.
Whoa. Don't spoil it, bro.
Yes.
Oh,
Slow
here,
that
this is a
down.
brand new
Some
movie.
people may have not seen it,
Come on,
but
man.
All right.
but by the way, it's streaming. Where do we see it? Peacock.
Peacock.
Yes,
Peacock.
it's
Yeah,
streaming
yeah,
on
it was-
Peacock.
It was really good.
I thought it was great. I mean, let's go back to the first one, right?
Mhm.
You just saw him creeping around they had a lot of shots of him, but he was just creeping around. There wasn't like a lot of back and
Yeah.
forth between them,
And
right?
the last one, the 2018 one,
Kills.
he was all over that shit.
Oh.
They're killing
Yeah.
people. So, like, what you basically what you're saying is, how come you didn't make the same movie again?
Yeah.
We already saw the movie.
I
You
don't
want to
know.
go watch that movie?
Go
It's
watch
called
it.
Watch It. It's there. Click the button.
Now, I think that.
you know what I'm saying?
um,
Like, it's still there. This one is different.
Aren't they like demanding a remake or something?
reshooting it. Yeah, they just want. There's a petition going around to just reshoot the whole thing. It's The Last Jedi all over again, and like it's wild. I don't know. I mean, I still think the original Halloween is the best Halloween masterclass at what it does, because it's not. You're not seeing like even the new movies have a bunch of blood, gore, creepy, like horrific deaths and all that. But the original, if you remember it, like any deaths were either off screen or in the shadows or no blood at all, 0 blood. What it did is that it masterfully made the atmosphere, the sounds, that what was you predicted was going to happen, made it scarier than it actually was. And that was the beauty of the original and what made it scary. You're not going to get grossed out by watching it. You're going to get tense and like almost anticipating what's going to happen. And that's what made it scary. Every movie other than that kind of lost that. As good as I like the new trilogy a lot. But even then, they started to rely on all the blood and all the gore and stuff like that new stuff does.
I agree with you 100% because the other one was very much on like suspense. And now it's kind of like, especially that second one you were speaking of, it was very
Kills?
bloody,
No, that was
very
worse.
like,
Yeah.
it was
But
I'm
this is
not-
the thing. This is a different time, man. Like, back then, it's like, okay, that was the first one. They did something different. They made something different. They made a mark. the kids today, they're so desensitized to this shit. They see
They
blood
shouldn't
and
be,
this
but
membership
yes.
and all this shit on all these movies. So if Halloween, the big daddy of them all, comes out and is like, oh, there's no blood.
Oh, the
I
night
killed you,
goes.
but you never saw it.
Oh,
Come on, man. These people see all these movies that are out there with people getting murdered.
Friday
It's right
13th,
now.
Texas
It's about
Chainsaw.
how can you show it the
best.
most like gruesome
Which is
possible. Like
oof.
that's what is people are looking for, not me, but that's what's out there. So
That's wild.
they gotta keep up with the times, man. Like this is you either adapt or you die, right? And
No.
if you come out with if last movie didn't have it, there wouldn't be this one.
Now, if a lot of people didn't like the new villain, Corey, and stuff like that, I actually found him pretty compelling, and they gave him more depth than Michael ever had, which I think that Michael, he's like the boogeyman and stuff like that. But it was a good change of pace, and they kind of show basically they kind of show the parallels with him and Michael. They never explained what happened to Michael, but you could see how maybe society played a part in how Michael became Michael and stuff like that.
Yes, I do. I think that I agree with that because I think that this movie was because they were going to essentially close the whole thing, like the chapter it's done over. They kind of wanted to give it the first movie was just like, okay, here we have a suspense movie. This was more of a background, more depth of trying to figure out where that came from. It was like an evil within of resentment and anger and
The game. The Bethesda game. That's right.
See, I make references I don't even know about. Look at that. It just comes to me. But it was kind of like made to, okay, since let's give more of an understanding of who this character was and what made him do the things that he did. And the way that they did that was by having someone else become what he was, right?
Yep.
And that's
And
how
you
they
see
were.
it happen.
Yes, it's almost like mirror between the two,
And that's why
right?
Michael feels sympathy, which he never really shows. But
Say that again.
Michael actually shows sympathy. He shows like he almost was about to kill him, and he looks
Yes.
in his eyes and he's like, he doesn't kill him.
Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of like
Oh,
the
Not
whole.
the first.
Not the
time,
first.
Amy.
all right. Not too much, guys. Not too much. So on that note, we did try that other going to like a real
Oh, that
ride.
Dahmer?
Yes,
Dahmer?
the Dahmer,
Yeah,
the
Dahmer.
Netflix.
If it wasn't real, it would be more intriguing. But the fact that it is real is kind of where it's like, I don't know. I mean, it was a very well done show. Clearly, there was a budget. They told the story really well. Acting was on point. Evan Peters did exceptionally well. But there's still like that. Do you really want to watch that sort of thing?
Yes, we did say on the last podcast because of all the hype, we were going to check out the show and see
did check it out.
what the hype was all
Simone
about.
was like, what could possibly go wrong?
Well, turns out
Turns out that is not our show.
It's not our cup of
okay?
tea.
It's not our cup of tea.
It's a bit much.
Yes, it's
a bit
very
much.
heavy. It you feel like it affects you. At least
it's
me.
not even visually a bit.
It's-
But that's the crazy
Actually,
thing. Like, it's not like they showed
They didn't
anything.
show anything.
They showed nothing. That's the sick part about it. The problem is that it's filmed in the guy's actual place.
Yeah, that was his real home.
right. Like that's it. That's not a set. It's the guy's actual house where he did all this crazy shit. And then you can just like the feel of it, the heaviness of it. It's just too it's too dark. Like the sickness, excuse me, that guy has. It's insane. Or well, in the show, I mean,
Yeah,
like
I guess.
what
Yeah.
he has in the show, it's insane. And it's like because it's real, there's no excitement. It's not like a scary movie. It's not like Halloween, right? Halloween ends, people, oh my god, is he gonna get him?
Ooh.
He's gonna kill him.
He's gonna
oh, he
get
got
him.
him. Oh, he's
Oh my
dead.
god, he's gonna
Like,
get him.
that's not what this is, man. This is like a real life scenario
That
that
did
took
happen.
place. This is evil shit. And I'm not up for that stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
I wasn't for it. We saw the first episode and it just like it's funny that we felt the same exact way. It's like holy crap! And the thing is that in the first episode, it kind of it starts where at the end of his
his spree.
his spree, right? And
Yeah.
the guy gets away. Thankfully, he got away, and like the guy's still alive now.
Yes,
and
he
it's such I can't imagine. Like it's such a sensitive thing right? And I get it. People dressing up as this guy, like I couldn't even think
like the
about
Halloween
something
costumes
like
that
that.
people
Yes.
wanted
The
to-
idea is that people try to scare each other. Like a lot of people have this notion that they want the scariest thing out there. That's why they pick Michael Myers or Jason. But because of Jeffrey Dahmer blowing up and his popularity now, people are like, "Ooh, I'm gonna get everyone like this" and stuff like that. Like there's so many TikToks with like blonde people with someone asking him like, "Hey, put these glasses on." It's like okay, and everyone getting scared like ah and stuff like that because they look like Dahmer because he's such a normal looking guy in the public sphere. But now people see it as Dahmer. You're like run.
Yeah, like I can see how like that could be insensitive, right? That could be like hard
And-
for again the person that this happened to and got away from this, like they're still alive, but it, the acting was on point, as you said, Madman, because you feel this, like
It felt
you
real.
know,
Like, you
you
felt
know
like you
what's
were
going
watching
to
real shit
happen to
happening.
this guy, and you're like, please find a way out of that place. Like, I don't know, it was a bit much. It was unnecessary to see. And
The other
in my
thing that's stupid
opinion.
about the costume thing is that he's not scary. He's not a scary person. He looks like a loser.
What he did was disgusting.
But he
what
drugged
he did
people
was
and killed them. But he drugged them. Wasn't anything big. You know what I'm saying? Like he wasn't this strong, super guy. He had a knife.
Like,
You know,
looking at Jason or something. I'd be like,
that's what I'm
"Ooh,
saying.
those
Like
muscles."
Halloween, you walk around like them. He's scary because he'll kill you out in the streets. Jeffrey Dahmer didn't kill anybody standing outside. He
And
drugged them.
he also
tricked
wasn't
them,
like
brought them in the house.
from that episode we saw, he wasn't like a smooth person. Like
No.
he didn't lure them in with like knowing all these skills on how to deal with people and
Yeah.
whatever. He was
awkward.
also,
People
he
just
was
kinda
very
said,
awkward,
"You know
and
what? Let's go."
yeah, they went and ended up in his apartment, and then he had about 18 locks on the freaking damn thing so that they wouldn't get out. He wasn't even like, he didn't even got the smell off from the first freaking round of shit before someone else came in. There was like blood everywhere, and it's like
Like he didn't even hide the blood.
exactly
Like,
like,
oh,
there was
there.
no like any type of like finesse to the crap. Not that there should be, not that anybody should be doing this shit, but like
At least
it-
if you're
it was-
doing
it
why
wasn't-
so blatant?
He was just
it was
sick.
very blatant.
He was
yes.
just literally a sick.
And then on top
individual.
of it, he freaking ate the like, oh my gosh,
Even,
yeah.
even movie monsters have some sort of class. Like Michael Myers, you bring him up. He has a rule: never kills children. Teenagers and above, he kills, but he doesn't touch children. And also, he does everything in the shadows. They broke that rule in Halloween Kills, which was like a problem. But he always kills in the shadows. He takes them in like dark areas and then kills them, and then lays them out like nothing happened, just walks off. But yeah. And even like Jason, in the beginning, it was actually Jason's mom that started killing people, and he was kind of getting raped. But I think it was like 6 that he actually comes out and kills. So yeah.
So I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but I'm freaking ready for Christmas.
yeah. Yeah.
But we know that Halloween is right around the corner. Everyone stay safe. Have a happy, happy Halloween. And we should all say a little phrase, maybe like a Halloween. I'll start it up.
Stay spooky.
All right. Do you like scary movies?
Do you like?
you
Oh my
like
god,
scary
Scream!
Scream.
I always forget Scream. Well, those are good movies. I like Scream. Yeah, those are really good. There's always 2 Scream killers, which that's an interesting quirk, I guess. But that's pretty cool.
And they always tie them together somehow, right?
Yeah.
They're
To
always
the-
oh, it's,
those were
it's
really
always
good.
someone you know. Basically, that it's funny that Scream is actually a parody of Michael, but he became his own movie monster, which is pretty cool. Like that's what it started off as. But yeah, that's pretty fire.
What do you got, C-Money? You have one?
I don't think I know anything.
Do you know what you did last summer?
Oh, do you? I know what you did last summer. Yes.
That's where Shawn Mendes got the song. I know what you did last summer.
Woo!
See, he's a horror fan.
Oh yeah,
All right.
I still know what you did last summer, and I'll always know, or something like that. There was 3 of them.
And I'll never
Yes,
forget.
I know. Yeah.
One day I'll be too old and I'll get
I
Alzheimer's.
wrote
but I
down
wrote
what
it
you
down.
did last
It's in
summer.
a book.
So you have one? You have a
A phrase?
from a movie, like
Oh, from a
Halloween
movie. Most of them don't talk. Scream is the only one where they actually say something.
That is true.
Yeah, because the only other one I thought about
Oh.
was "I'll be back," but that's
Oh wait, I gotta go on. Here's Johnny. The Shining.
oh yeah.
Oh.
That's one.
All right. Well, with that,
that's a wrap. Ah. All right, if you guys like this
Like a
Madman
mummy,
podcast,
get it because it's Halloween. That's a wrap.
Oh, mummy,
Like a
that's a
mummy
wrap.
wrap?
Oh,
What do you think
great
about that?
reference.
See, I'm
The
ready.
Mummy is a horror movie. Just check that one out. But yeah, if you guys like this podcast, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. Mark our Madman out.